Hey guys, and welcome to our forecast on September 7th, 2023. So looking at today's satellite imagery, we can see that this vast area of high pressure shown by these clear skies to our east stays to the east, and these lows to the west combine with the ridge to draw up this unstable, warm, humid, or even hot southerly flow. And the instability is shown by these clouds, and some of these are actually thunderstorms. So the radar shows it nicely. Some storms over Spain, also some dying storms just over just over the west of Scotland, and earlier today they affected parts of Ireland, especially North Leinster, East Connacht, and Ulster. So this was a 12-hour rainfall map. So if we go forward, this morning a few heavy showers there in the southeast, nothing much really, but we start seeing some downpours forming over Meath at 11 a.m. pretty much, and those downpours just very slowly get more intense and more widespread around lunchtime. You can see about 1 p.m. they become thundery very quickly, and those storms become active in North Leinster, moving northwards towards Ulster, into the middle of the afternoon. Some big storms there, lightning, rain. I think that in these storms, hail wasn't a big issue. It was mainly heavy rain and lightning. Also there into Roscommon as well, and Leitrim into the evening, and those storms rumbled on, pushing towards Ulster, and lingered there early this evening before, by about 8 p.m, most of the storm activity did ease off and push towards Western Scotland. But now, over Scotland, basically an area of showery rain, just some rain there. So this is the, also just to say that the UKV did not show anything as widespread really, over Ireland today, especially over the North Country. That was more intense than expected. But also the activity expected over Leinster, especially the southeast this morning, was a lot less active than expected. So it does show you just how uncertain this scenario was. So we can see that on the latest run of the UKV, when the storms were already taking off over the north today, they're shown quite nicely. Although a bit further north than they actually were. Anyway, this evening they died out, and into tomorrow we'll see some sea fog on the southeast coast there in the morning and early afternoon. Though that should be mainly confined to the coasts, and just a bit inland we should see some beautiful sunshine forming. And tomorrow will be a hot day. Now, there is a yellow warning for high temperature in effects. So for temperatures in excess of 27 inlands, and also at night time, temperatures not falling below 15 degrees. So a combination of very warm daytime temperatures and very warm low temperatures at night and humidity will lead to the risk of heat stress, and bad conditions for sleeping, and also the increased risk of water-related water-related incidents. So do just take care in the heat. Obviously, sunscreen needed. Stay hydrated and stay safe in the coastal areas. So tomorrow should be the peak of the heat, really, and we see a few showers and thunderstorms forming on Friday night in the south, especially. We're going to Saturday, and we see some convection, some storms in the Midlands and West, it seems. And then we see on Sunday some more storms forming from thermals, again in a very similar place to Saturday. And then on Sunday night, a few storms may push into the south. And on Monday, a cold front comes through, and by Tuesday, we're in a cooler and fresher and drier air mass, and that will lead to a cooler day with sunshine showers on Tuesday. temperature forecast from the UKV looking like this. Get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, so today was a very warm day with temperatures reaching between 20 and 26 degrees, coolest over Ulster, where the storms were, and warmest in the west. Tonight, we will see lows from about 15 to 18, coolest in the east and Midlands, and warmest in the west. So very little respite from the heat. Tomorrow, temperatures will rise really steadily, very nicely. So between 22 and 27, or even 28 degrees. Warmest in the east and coolest in the southwest and west. Tomorrow night, temperatures will fall away. Not much, between 16 and 20 or 20, well, 16 to 19 degrees, but warmer in Dublin, at 21 there in Dublin because of, and that is because of urban heating. Now to Saturday, temperatures rise, but they won't be as intense in Ireland anyway. But in the UK, really hot, widely above 30 degrees, scorching. Anyway, for Ireland, 21 to 25 degrees, warmest in the east and south, coolest over the west and north. To Saturday nights, lowest temperatures 15 to 17 degrees, so quite a warm night again. Sunday, temperatures rising, 20 to 24 degrees, warmest in the Midlands, also of the UK, 30, also in the UK, very hot, especially in the east, East Anglia, Cambridgeshire, is that a place? Sorry, Cambridgeshire, getting towards 32 degrees. I may have messed up on geography for once. I'm pretty sure that Cambridgeshire is a place. Please forgive me if it's wrong. But around Cambridge anyway. 32 degrees is possible. Into Monday morning, we see lowest temperatures from about 13 to 18 degrees, warmest in the east ahead of the cold fronts. And Monday sees quite a chilly day, so we could just scrape 20 degrees there in the southeast, but elsewhere, really restricted towards the high teens. Monday nights, Tuesday morning, chilly. So anywhere that isn't the west and northwest coasts, we'll see temperatures between like 8 and 10 degrees, so really chilly nights. And Tuesday, look at that, over Ulster, North Ulster, 13 to 15, elsewhere, 15 to 17 degrees. A real drop, a shock to the system. And over Scotland, look at this, especially in the north of Scotland, very chilly. Highest temperatures not getting above 10 degrees on Tuesday, so autumn will descend next week. This is the North Atlantic Oscillation for the next few weeks. This is where we are now with the NAO. We're positive, and quite strongly so. That means that the Azores High is very strong and very big and very ridgy. So it means that it is very capable of extending itself. And that's why we're seeing this very warm and hot spell of weather. Now, the NAO will drop quite steeply there. And by mid-month, we are negative and getting towards quite moderate levels of negativity into the 18th or so. So that could, as I said before, the NAO doesn't drive anything. It's the weather that drives the index. And when you get the low pressure coming further south than normal, and the high pressure possibly going towards us and that lot, that is when you see the NAO go negative. So that does back up the theory that we'll be seeing autumn descending into the second half of the month. This is the GFS 12 there. If we can get rid of this advertisement down here. Get rid of this, get rid of that, thank you. Okay, So we can see this large draw east and the lows to the west, drawing up these unstable southerly winds. So very warm, humid, and with a few storms around. We go off into the weekend, and the low to the south sort of does just threaten some activity from storms. Into next week, we see the low to the north dominating, so drawing in the wind from the Atlantic. So quite a chilly, showery theme, I think. A cold front comes through. Also, a northerly wind comes through by Tuesday, and on Wednesday the high comes back. But difference is it's building in on a much cooler air mass. So that does mean that temperatures during the day, high teens only, at night, well into the single figures. So that'd be quite chilly actually. And then more low pressure comes in from the west into mid month, and that brings some more cooler shots from the Atlantic. And a deep low comes in for the 18th there, really autumnal, and the lows keep coming in. Also notice heights rising around Greenland there, and the wind tries to come in from the northeast by the 20th. So there is some quite cooler air, there is some quite cold air lurking to the north, but obviously it's September, nothing's going to happen, nothing dramatic anyway. But these northerly shots that we get are getting cooler, and they will shock you if they come through. This is the ECM. So again, we see the lows to the west, the highs to the east combination, drawing up this hot wind from the south. Into the weekends, the lows to the north just gradually starts to drop in as the heights weaken over us. Northerly flow by Tuesday and Wednesday, with the high coming in over us by Wednesday morning, bringing quite a chilly, dry day by Wednesday. We see a low come in Wednesday and Thursday before a high builds to the east again Friday, but but the hot air has pretty much run out by then. So if we go through, we only get the 10 southern sides of them in before a low comes in and sweeps it all away by the 17th. This is a GEM run. Sorry, the UK Met run first actually. So we go through this. We can see that the heights break down around the weekends, and the northern wind comes in through Tuesday. Upper temperatures with this do look quite chilly. Bear in mind the -5 southern ice term gets as far south as the Faroe Islands there. That's quite far south for it. And by the end of the run, we're looking at the low coming in towards Scotland again, and that does help bring in a warmer wind from the southwest, but at the same time, quite a modulating winds. This is the GEM run, so we go through to the weekends, hot, humid, and unstable, but cooler winds do descend. Ridge comes back, but a cooler one, and then we get more low pressure coming in from the west. So autumn does come through, and finally, the icon. Sorry, not finally. Second to last. I'm quite tired now. Please forgive me. Can we go through this? You can probably tell that my voice has sort of drooped off because I actually am having quite a big wave of tiredness. So sorry about that, guys. But it is quite late. And the icon again does show transition towards autumn. Some quite deep lows on this actually. Some really quite deep ones. So quite stormy possibly. And at last, this is the final one. The arpege. We can see that it does bring in that northerly shot by Tuesday. How cool are our temperatures of that? Quite cool. So autumn is coming. See you next time. Bye for now.